Read Me or Rue It. This title is somewhat startling, yet, dear reader, if you peruse this little book, you will see for yourself how well deserved it is. The book tells us how to save ourselves and how to save others from untold suffering. Some books are good and may be read with profit. Others are better and should be read without fail. There are, however, books of such sterling worth by reason of the counsels they suggest, the conviction they carry with them, the urge to action they give us, that it would be sheer folly not to read them. Read Me or Rue It belongs to this class. It is for your best interest, dear friend, to read it and reread it, to ponder well and deeply on its content. You will never regret it. Rather, great and poignant will be your regret if you fail to study its few but pregnant pages. Have pity on me, have pity on me, at least you, my friends, for the hand of the Lord is heavy upon me. This is the touching prayer that the poor souls in purgatory address their friends on earth, begging, imploring their help. In accents of the deepest anguish, alas, many are deaf to their prayers. It is incomprehensible how some Catholics, even those who are otherwise devout, shamefully neglect the souls in purgatory. It would almost seem that they do not believe in purgatory. Certain it is that their ideas on the subject are very hazy. Days and weeks and months pass without their having a Mass said for the holy souls. Seldom, too, do they hear Mass for them. Seldom do they pray for them. Seldom do they think of them. Whilst they are enjoying the fullness of health and happiness, busy with their work, engrossed with their amusements, the poor souls are suffering unutterable agonies on their beds of flame. What is the cause of this awful callousness? Ignorance, gross, inexplicable ignorance. People do not realize what purgatory is. They have no conception of its dreadful pains, and they have no ideas of the long years that souls are detained in these awful fires. As a result, they take little or no care to avoid purgatory themselves, and worse still, they cruelly neglect the poor souls who are already there and who depend entirely on them for help. Dear reader, peruse this little book with care, and you will bless the day that it fell into your hands. What is purgatory? Purgatory is a prison of fire in which nearly all souls are plunged after death, and in which they suffer the most intense pain. Here is what the great doctors of the Church tell us of purgatory. So grievous is their suffering that 1 minute in these awful fires seems like a century. Saint Thomas of Aquinas, the Prince of Theologians, says that the fire of purgatory is equal in intensity to the fire of hell, and that the slightest contact with it is more dreadful than all the possible sufferings of this earth. Saint Augustine, the greatest of the holy doctors, teaches that to be purified of their faults previously to being admitted to heaven, souls after death are subject to a fire more penetrating, more dreadful than anything we can see or feel or conceive in this life. Though this fire is destined to cleanse and purify the souls, adds the Holy Doctor, still it is more acute than anything we could possibly endure on earth. Saint Cyril of Alexandria does not hesitate to say that it would be preferable to suffer all the possible torments of earth until the judgment day than pass 1 day in purgatory. Another great saint says, "Our fire, in comparison with the fire of purgatory, is as a refreshing breeze." The other holy writers speak in identical terms of this awful fire. How is it that the pains of purgatory are so severe? Number 1. The fire we see on earth was made by the goodness of God for our comfort and well-being. Still, when used as a torment, it is the most dreadful one we can imagine. Number 2. The fire of purgatory, on the contrary, was made by the justice of God to punish and purify us, and is, therefore, incomparably more severe. Number 3. Our fire at most burns this gross body of ours, made of clay, whereas the fire of purgatory acts on the spiritual soul, which is unspeakably more sensitive to pain. Number 4. The more intense our fire is, the more speedily it destroys its victim, who, therefore, ceases to suffer, whereas the fire of purgatory inflicts the keenest, most violent pain, but never kills the soul nor lessens its sensibility. Number 5. Unsurpassingly severe is the fire of purgatory, the pain of loss or separation from God, which the souls also suffer in purgatory, is far more severe. The soul separated from the body craves with all the intensity of its spiritual nature of God. It is consumed with an intense desire to fly to Him, yet it is held back. No words can describe the anguish of this unsatisfied craving. What madness, therefore, it is for intelligent beings to neglect taking every possible precaution to avoid such a dreadful fate. It is puerile to say that it can't be so, that we cannot understand it, that it is better not to think or speak of it. The fact remains always the same, whether we believe it or whether we don't, that the pains of purgatory are beyond everything we can imagine or conceive. These are the words of Saint Augustine.